I'm Paul Morrison. I'm the Director of Sales and Distribution for IsoAcoustics, based out of Markham, Ontario, Canada. Well, the way our stuff works is that we create a high degree of isolation and we manage the energy of the speaker, and we keep that energy in alignment with the listening position. So when you put your speaker on the ground or on spikes or on any hard surface, there are secondary reflections that come back up into the cabinet, and we perceive that as smear. And when you have dissimilar information on two channels, you naturally have a very wide stereo image. But as soon as you introduce that smear, any artifacts that are common in the two channels are perceived to be in the middle. So it causes that soundstage to collapse. So when we think of isolation, we generally think of three things. We think of, are you exciting that supporting surface? So in many cases, the floor. And structure-borne noise, which is noise traveling to adjacent spaces. And then that third thing is that internal reflection. The Gaia Series has been our big seller for the past couple years. It's designed to replace the spikes in floor standing speakers. And people have been blown away at the difference that the product has been making. So the way the product works is there's an isolator in the top and bottom of with a connector in between, all inside the housing. So it manages the energy of the speaker and it keeps that energy in alignment with the listening position. We don't allow the speaker to oscillate around. We keep everything in alignment. So the bottom is designed to act like a suction cup, and it sticks to your supporting surface, your floor. And then the top uses the included threads and replaces the spikes in your floor standing speakers. So the Gaia 3 is the smallest model in the series, and it'll hold up to a 70-pound speaker. The Gaia 2 will hold up to a 120-pound speaker, and the Gaia 1 will hold up to a 220-pound speaker. Now earlier this year, we launched the new Gaia Titan series, which has 3 new models designed for really large speakers. So the Gaia Titan Theus will hold up to a 320-pound speaker. The Rhea will hold up to a 420-pound speaker, and the Kronos will hold up to a 620-pound speaker. It's very important to keep within the weight limits of all of our products. What happens is one of the most common questions we get is, people will come to us and say, listen, my speakers are 71 pounds. Do I really need to go to the Gaia 2, or can I get away with the Gaia 3? And the answer is the Gaia 3 will work, but the Gaia 2 will just work better. Because what happens is with the 2 isolators inside, once we get too much weight, the isolators compress and they collapse on each other. And as soon as they touch each other, it short circuits the design. So the Gaia series comes with a variety of accessories as well. Each model has its own carpet disc. So if your floor is a thick, shaggy carpet, obviously the Gaia series won't adhere to that like it's designed to. So what we've done is we've created a carpet disc, which basically looks like a coaster with 3 spikes on the bottom, and it's designed to pierce the carpet and provide that solid surface for the Gaia to adhere to. We also have the Bmw plates and the Bmw D3 plates. So these are specific to the larger Bmw speakers. The Diamond, the Nautilus, and the D2 all use the Bmw plate. And what the product does is it's designed to replace the ball casters. So you'll unscrew the ball caster, screw the plate in its place, and then the Gaia threads into the plate. And with the D3 series, we have a separate plate which is designed to replace the wheels on the bottom of the Bmw, the 800 D3s, 801 D3s, 802 D3s. And again, you unscrew the wheels, you screw the plate in, and it provides the threaded hole for the Gaia to screw into. Lastly, we've also created a bunch of alternate sizes of threads for the Gaias. We've tried to include the most common thread sizes in the kit, and I would say 70 to 80% of the speakers on the market use one of the included thread sizes. But we do have a variety of alternate sizes that are available should they be needed. And what we recommend is that you reach out to your Music Direct representative and let them know what make and model of speaker you have or what thread size you need, and they'll do their research to get you the appropriate thread size you need for the Gaias. It's very important to keep within the weight limits of all of our products. What happens is one of the most common questions we get is, people will come to us and say, listen, my speakers are 71 pounds. Do I really need to go to the Gaia 2 or can I get away with the Gaia 3? And the answer is the Gaia 3 will work, but the Gaia 2 will just work better. Because what happens is with the two isolators inside, once we get too much weight, the isolators compress and they collapse on each other. And as soon as they touch each other, it short circuits the design. I always tell people you start at the source. You start with your speakers. So people come to us all the time and say, you know, we've read great reviews of your products. I want to get some. What do you recommend? And I always tell people you start with the speakers and then we move to your components, to everything afterwards. So the Aureas come in 3 different sizes. There's the Aurea Bronze, which will hold up to 8 pounds each. The Aurea Indigos, which will hold up to 16 pounds each. And the Bordeaux, which will hold up to 32 pounds each. So there's 3 different sizes in the set, and they're designed primarily for components, amplifiers, turntables, CD players, and they eliminate those vibrations that can come back up into the system as a result of the transformers, the speakers, and other parts of the system. So they work along the same ways as the Gaias. There's isolator in the top and bottom with a connector in the middle. So it creates a high degree of isolation by having multiple points of contact. The Aureas can also be used with speakers. So it's got the same directionality to it as the Gaias do. So if you have a speaker that does not have the threaded inserts for spikes, you can set 3 or 4 underneath the speaker and you'll get the same effect as the Gaias. I never recommend, for the Aureas, I never recommend going less than 3 under a component just for stability. You know, if you have something that's, let's say, 30 pounds, you know, you can put 3 Indigos underneath it. 16 pounds each will give you 64 pounds, which is more than enough. So the ISO series have 6 models in the set. There's the ISO 130, the ISO 155, ISO 200, ISO 200 sub, ISO 430, and then the ISO puck. So this was the original series we launched back in 2012, and it was redesigned in 2018. And the way all the products work is we create a high degree of isolation. There's isolator in the top and bottom with a connector in the middle. And we manage the energy of the speaker, and we keep that energy in alignment with the listening position. So there's 5 models depending on the size of your speakers. They go everything from a small, 4 or 5 inch studio monitor all the way up to, an 8 inch and above. The ISO 430 is great for larger horizontal speakers or a center channel. And then we have the ISO pucks. So you can put 3 or 4 of them under your speakers and you get the same benefit as the ISO stands. So if you need that height and tilt adjustment to get your speakers to that optimal listening position, then go with the stands. But if you've already got your speakers pretty much where you want them, you want to minimize the amount of extra height if you're traveling, if you're changing your setup a lot, then the pucks are great because it offers a very versatile solution. You just put 3 or 4 of them under your speakers and make sure that the logo is always facing forward, again, because of that directionality that the product has. So the Aperto series has 3 models in this series. There's the Aperto, Aperto 200, and Aperto 300. They're primarily designed for bookshelf and stand-mounted speakers. So you can, so the Aperto is great for something like a KEF LS50 or a Focal Aria 906. And then the Aperto 200 is great for larger bookshelf speakers, and the Aperto 300 is for center channel speakers. So the kit comes with a pair of speakers, and it offers 6.5 degrees of tilt as well. So you can angle your speakers and help get them to that optimal listening position. Similar to our other products, the Apertos have isolator on the top and bottom with a connector in between. It manages the energy of the speaker, and it keeps that energy in alignment with the listening position. So we're not allowing that speaker to oscillate around. We're keeping everything in alignment with the listening position, which is what's creating that clarity and focus that you're getting.